I respect the lecturer, put his name there.
Yes.
And then the chapter 11, not even chapter 11, the book name. Okay, Alright, this one is acknowledgement, don't worry, I talk about the book. If I don't put, foreign teacher scared. So foreign teacher always book the book. So when one day I get rich in Cambodia, nobody ask me, copyright infringement. I say I write here, a copy from your book, everything. Now, today's topic is about how are we going to teach the second language to students. As simple as that. Second language, very difficult to some countries, but other countries are quite easy. Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines. Other countries is really hard. Beside these three Southeast Asian countries, then Pakistan okay, India okay, Bangladesh okay, Sri Lanka okay. The rest, be careful when you go for lecturing in second language in other countries, including Japan. Arigato. Yeah. Now, the first one I would like to say is that the techniques to improve progressively to the students who are studying second language, that is English in Cambodia. Yeah. Now, that is all. The whole topic is about progressively teaching students in the second language. For example, Cambodia, English. Now, in the research, there is one gentleman called Brown and Harlow, same year, 1989. They say that there are always problems in the methodology to teach second language. Yeah. Any questions? No. Now, so wherever we try to apply all the methods, it's not easy. For one reason is that all different set of students are different. Different class and different set of students, different set of students in another country. Yeah? So that will be the difficulties of the problems. Now, I just go to next. Now, they say is that when you teach a second language to students, you must be aware that not only using the textbooks, not using the highlight projector or your notes, you have to bring account into their emotional factor, how they feel, whether they are ready to study your second language or not. For example, so many students come from the province, going to a university to study the second language, English. When you ask them, do you want to study? It's, oh, yeah, I love English. But everybody loves English. I also love Khmer, but I cannot be able to study, read and write Khmer. That is a big problem. Yeah? So, now, this gentleman here, by the name of McCombs, says that no matter what we do, we have to bring in the emotional factors like the age, how the person prepare to study a second language or not. Yeah. Any questions? No one? I know you all feel a bit tired and sleepy before lunchtime. Everybody do the same. Okay, now there's one gentleman called himself Rubin. He says that for the early 15 years ago, we were teaching very different methods for the second language. But now we are looking at a different set of methods, how we do it, why we do it. Yeah, that is Mr. Rubin, R-U-B-I-N. Now, we always like to have accuracy. When some student makes a mistake in grammar, we say, look here, wrong grammar. Then we focus on how you want or they want to do it. So we only focus on things like how you put a past participle grammar in your sentence, the structure of the sentences, and the meaning of the words. If you do not know the meaning of the words, you get into debate trouble in your second language. So this is what Mr. Rubin says. That is 15 years ago. That is how we study a second language or a language. Okay? Don't worry, next slide. Now, the learning styles. The learning styles of the second language are as follows. Now, the effective learners, they always want to do certain things. They select the way how they want to learn. This is true. Everybody wants to learn how they're going to study themselves. Every one of us is the same. And then the other one, we always ask the lecturer, sir, what questions are coming out in the exam? Sir, do we want to do this or not? 4 slides or 5 slides or 50 slides? Which one you choose? Lecturer say, I look here, man, so many students, 5 slides will be. So everybody happy, less work. 4 slides, lesser work. So we always look at the language task. That's all we need for one reason, to pass the exam. Okay? Now, the second thinking which we have is cognitive and meta-cognitive strategy often go together. Now, this is what is the mental energy. How you decide, how you reason, what you're going to do for yourself. Or when you read a topic, it's up to you how you're going to reason out on the topic. That is the last one. Okay? Now, we go to the less effective learners. And this gentleman, Abraham, says that the less effective learners who doesn't know what to do, but he knows how to study. But the problem is, he just studies like a gun, shooting here, shooting there, and hopefully he will learn something from what the class get involved in the language. Understand? The first one is effective learner, as I mentioned before. They know what to do, what they learn. The less effective, number 2, classification of students. The less effective are students. They themselves know what to do, but they never put things into a systematic way. They never put things in the arrangement way. They just take some here, take some here, take some here. Oh, today we study grammar. What do we study? Oh, past participle. Then he think, oh, which one to do? He grab another thing to match up how he is going to study. Okay, don't worry, boys. I'm looking at the time. Half an hour will go short. The next one, less successful learners. Now, these less successful learners, as Stern and Gallagher and Lavara says, these less successful students will never be constructive. When they say constructive means no arrangement at all, no structure, how to do it or not how to do it. You trust me, you're going away. Okay, so this will be the less successful learners. Yeah? They do not know what to do, but they are quite good to retain memory. Is what you do, memory. Once they do not understand, they use memory. Okay? Now, another class is the less skilled learners. This is only memorizing and translation. They look at the dictionary, English word to Khmer, English word to Khmer, English word to Khmer. These are the less skilled ones. Okay? Many students do that. They go, student in Japan did the same. Japanese to English, Japanese to English. Whether right or wrong doesn't matter. Okay? So they type in Japanese, translate into English. So the lecturer see, one word come from here, look like, don't know which word coming, like that. Do again. Okay? So, these are the less skilled workers, less skilled learners. Then, the last one from Oxford. Now, these learners, they have their favorite way of doing it. You cannot change it. They got a favorite way of learning. You cannot change them. But sometimes they're also quite smart. They're also related to cultural ideas. For example, when the lecturer says, why you can't use this word? Not in my culture. Why you don't do this? Oh, sir, we can't do it in my culture. Okay? Culture can be religion, can be a way of life. Any question? No.
Maybe have any questions?
We carry on. Lecturer not here.
I have on.
Okay, now the next one. Learners can learn beyond their learning style. This is what we want. Okay, this is what we want. So, like Oxford and Scarilla say, is that if you learn a style, but you also can do other way of learning. Beyond what you know, you learn another new way. See whether it's successful or not. Yeah. Now, then Oxford believe that when you study or you try to teach people in second language, you don't treat the person like a machine. You must treat the person as a person. So, when you look at a person as a person or as a whole person, then you discover all these factors here. Socially, emotionally, intellectual, and physical resources. Okay? Not just memorizing the whole thing. Oxford said, number A, to be effective. A learner, the person has effective self-encouragement. So, when we teach the second language, English, to a learner, we cannot always tell him, look here, my son, no good, fail. Always we try to give him a pass, somewhere, somehow, along the line. Okay? So, that person has self-encouragement to go further. Okay? Just like all of us here, study master, self-encouragement, come to class every day. Yeah? Now, number B, that learner must be quite sociable. Always ask questions to the teacher. So when you ask more questions, then you become a better learner. That is what Oxford said. Always ask questions to the teacher. And then number C, the learner also must be able to pay attention. Okay? No mobile phone like that. No look at your computer and see other things when the teacher is teaching. Understand what I mean? Concentration, attention. And then number D is quite easy, memory. Okay? And then number E, you must be able to have the reasoning power to learn the language. Yeah? The last one will be more similar. They say something with a new word, compensatory. It's a gesture, movement of your hand, your eyes contact, to be able to teach the learner quite easily. Okay? Any question? No? Oh, what a good student in class. So intelligent. Okay, this is the last slide. Everybody will love me so much. Now, this is what we suggest to the instructors. Read carefully, only show you one time. Second time costs you money. Read carefully if you want to be a good teacher. Now, Oxford say, number A, first thing you look at your students. Don't go blindly into the class and say, student, open your book. Every student open the book. Then they look at you. What to do with the chapter? Like, can my students, English not very good, how are they going to open the chapter and read? So, this is the question. Know your students well. Okay, And then, number B, always concerned with many other strategies, how you're going to teach and how the student going to learn. If this way no good, we change another way. Like we all teach students in Cambodia. Year 1, choose true or false. All true. Year 2, multiple choices. Choose A, B, C. Or A. Year 3, no more true or false. No more multiple choices questions. Now we test the language by written answers. Okay, so we change, we move, see all how the students behave. Okay, now number C, classification of students. Now, when you are the teacher, you cannot say a student whether he is good or not good. You must put in details why he is good or not very good. So, when you teach students in the primary school, it's harder than the university students because of this reason. University lecturers are more relaxed. They tell you what to do, they expected you to do. But in the primary school, or you have to, like Malaysia or Australia, we got classes A, class A, very good student. Class B, not so good. Class C, wow. Class B, a lot of attention. Special teachers will go to the class B. That means they don't know how to read, don't know how to write. So they go for eye tests, they go for hearing tests, they go for speech tests and the tongue. Why they're not studying? Maybe father, mother didn't give them food to eat before coming to school. So all are this is number D. Number C, why the student don't perform. So Cambodia, we don't have this classification. Good student, same, bad student, all in one class. Good luck to the student, good luck to the teacher. So the teacher find it quite hard how to concentrate on the student. This one, these students are so good, they should be in another class to study higher. So the classification is very important as far as Oxford is concerned. Oxford is a person who came from Great Britain. Okay? So I don't know his great-great-great-grandfather was the founder of Oxford University or not. I do not know. Okay? So this Oxford gentleman, he said all this is for us to pay attention to. But I believe in classification. Even in the degree, we must have classification, honors class 1, honors class 2, pass. So those students on the pass are not so well graded than the first class and second class. So all the students in down here, we try to perform to get into honors 2 or honors 1. Honors 1 are supposed to do masters. If you don't have a honors 1 degree, you cannot do masters unless you go to the majority age, like 27, 29, you got the experience. Then you move to masters. Okay, that is what classification. If you don't have a classification, you put all the bad apples. Put all the bad apples there, put all the good apples there. Some students will tell us, oh, I want to aim for PhD. The other students say, oh, I hope I can pass my year 12. Different classification. Okay, Now, the second one, the teachers must combine with all the important ways to teach the second language learners. Must combine all the different ways until you break your neck, you try to do it. Okay? Just like we foreign teachers, we do the same. We don't know how to teach at the beginning. We don't know how to teach, whether government school and private school, same. Like some private school, why they pay so high fees? Why the English is so good? So one day I went to Banasastra by myself. I went into the bookstore. I looked at the books. Wow, like Australian standard, different type of books they have for one subject. Then I talked to the students. Wow, their English was so good. So I asked them, after here, where are you going? Sir, we hope we go to America. That is their classification. So in Cambodia, you can see different university, different school. They got the standard. In the private secondary school, private primary school, some schools they got the standard, but some of them the fees are very high. Okay? Now, so number 2 is easy. So all the important ways you think you can teach a student in a second language, then you apply all of them and see whether you can do it or not. But the problem in Cambodia is a problem. You can't do it sometimes because the students cannot be classified. Okay? But when you do classification, you need funding. How can this lecturer teach? One class is good, one class is no good, one class is also bad. This one work. Big headache. You have to pay him 4 times teaching the same subject. Cambodia got a big problem in that way, the funding. Okay, so we try our best to teach. Okay, so the third one. So in conclusion, I will just say that all the students have been assessed in all the research that some students will go beyond their learning methods, some will contain to their own methods, but it's suggested that most of the students will go beyond. Okay? So that is my presentation, and my present to Cambodia is this statement. So all the lecturers, teachers got hard time, difficult to teach the second language in Cambodia. Not easy, unless some students, Papa, Mama, very rich, can afford jungle school or rice school or don't know what school they think of to learn better English language. So students from the province, they also suffer. No good schools, no teachers, no well-trained teachers, all in the province. Here, all in Phnom Penh. I have 5 more minutes for lunch. Any questions?
Okay. If you have a question, you can ask him.
Want to ask question, you ask. If you are a teacher, I salute you all. Don't ask me too many questions. Any questions? So easy. Today I'm so happy. 4 slides. No.
No question, no answer.
So I have one question. What about L2? What does it mean L2?
I think the second language.
Sure.
L is for language, 2 is the code. So second language. Any questions? Don't be shy. I told you in my slide, I ask questions. The more you ask, true. By the other university, the student ask me so many questions. More or less, I give them the answer. They can complete their assignment. Don't you know? They are so smart. They ask the questions very relevant to their assignment. So the lecturers have to answer the answers, give it to them, and then they note it down. They know just to expand the word to complete the assignment. So whatever you do as a teacher, you have to follow these 4 steps. Very important. There is no escape. If you think you want to have an easy way of teaching, and try to be so easy? No, cannot. Some lecturers have prepared written lecture notes to the students, summarize the chapter to the students. The students still cannot perform. So the lecturer try another way. You summarize it. That's the only way. True one, Cambodia, you let the student with lecture notes, he take the lecture notes, after 15 minutes disappear, don't know where he go, attendance mark, don't know whether to Eon 1 or Eon 2. Then after that, you don't give them the written question, they say, sir, we don't understand. You understand what I mean? So, that way is to change. Try to, you see, the lecturers always look and think. If you don't read, we force you to read. When you read, you summarize. You learn your English, your grammar, when you summarize. Okay, you want to download, also can. You put your source. See, how many download can you do? Any questions before lunch? No, Professor, I think my students here are so smart. No questions. The only question is lunchtime. What to eat and how much I'm going to pay. That is the question all in the mind. No,
No question?
no question. Wow, I'm so happy.
Okay, thank you very much for your hard work.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
I'll try my best.